Something strange happened in the AI world, and most people completely missed how big it actually was. There was no acquisition press conference, no billion-dollar headline, no flashy demo. Just a single hiring announcement that quietly rewired the future of autonomous AI agents. OpenAI didn't buy OpenClaw. It didn't shut it down. It didn't fork it or absorb the codebase. Instead, it absorbed the mind behind it. And that move sent shockwaves through open source communities, corporate AI labs, and global tech ecosystems all at once. To understand why this matters, you have to understand what OpenClaw really represented. It wasn't just another AI wrapper or prompt toy. It arrived at a moment when people were starting to realize that chatbots weren't the endgame. OpenClaw was built around a different idea entirely, that AI shouldn't wait for instructions. It should notice, decide, and act. That difference sounds subtle, but it changes everything. Instead of a system that responds, OpenClaw behaved like software with initiative. It could monitor environments, trigger workflows, operate inside browsers, run commands, manage tasks, and keep going even when you weren't actively watching it. That shift, from reactive to autonomous, is what made people pay attention. Within weeks, developers weren't talking about better prompts anymore. They were talking about agents, systems that could coordinate tools, call APIs, manage memory, and persist over time. OpenClaw felt less like a demo and more like a glimpse of how future software might actually work. Not AI as a chat window, but AI as a background operator in your digital life. And then it exploded. The project gained massive traction almost overnight. GitHub stars skyrocketed. Social media turned it into a symbol of the agent movement. People began experimenting with real workflows, automating emails, managing schedules, scraping data, even interacting with services that were never designed for automation. But growth at that speed always comes with friction. Security concerns surfaced. Malicious extensions appeared. Researchers found risky configurations. Governments started paying attention. And behind the scenes, the cost of keeping everything running was mounting fast. This is where context matters. OpenClaw wasn't backed by a giant corporation. It wasn't designed as a venture-funded startup chasing hypergrowth. It was a builder's project, driven by curiosity and conviction, more than long-term infrastructure planning. And as the ecosystem around it grew more complex, the question became unavoidable. How does something like this scale safely without losing what made it powerful in the first place? That's when OpenAI made its move. Instead of acquiring the project, OpenAI hired its creator. The announcement was brief, almost understated. The message was simple. The person behind OpenClaw would now be working on the next generation of personal agents inside OpenAI. The project itself would remain open source, foundation-backed, and independent. On paper, nothing was being taken. In reality, something far more valuable had changed hands. Talent, especially at the frontier of a paradigm shift, is the real currency of AI. Models can be replicated, features can be copied, but the intuition required to design systems that act, persist, and coordinate at scale is rare. By bringing that expertise in-house, OpenAI wasn't just hiring a developer. It was internalizing a philosophy about how AI should behave in the real world. And this happened at a very specific moment in the broader AI race. Model performance is starting to plateau in public perception. Everyone has strong language models now. Everyone can generate text, code, and images. The competitive frontier has moved up the stack. The real battle is no longer about who has the biggest model, but about who controls the layer where AI actually does work. Agents, not prompts. Systems, not responses. OpenAI has been signaling this direction for a while. Long-running tasks, tool use, memory, multi-agent coordination. These aren't side features, they're the foundation of a future where AI operates continuously, not conversationally. Hiring someone who has already built a working agent framework accelerates that roadmap dramatically. At the same time, this move didn't happen in isolation. While OpenAI was consolidating talent, other players were consolidating distribution. In China especially, AI isn't being treated as a standalone product. It's being embedded directly into apps people already use every day. Search, messaging, shopping, productivity. AI is becoming an invisible layer inside existing platforms. When an agent lives inside a system with hundreds of millions of users, the scale implications are enormous. This is where OpenClaw's flexibility became strategically explosive. It wasn't tied to a single model. It wasn't locked into one cloud. Provider. It could run on different infrastructures, connect to different tools, and adapt to different regulatory environments. That made it attractive not just to developers, but to companies looking for agent capabilities without surrendering control over their entire stack. Then browser-based deployments entered the picture. Instead of running locally or wrestling with complex setups, agents could now live in the cloud, persist across sessions, and operate continuously. Storage, memory, and real-time data access removed some of the biggest limitations that had held agents back. Security firms have been warning about this for months. Access, control, permission boundaries, and auditability become critical. When agents are embedded inside massive platforms, questions about data sovereignty, governance, and geopolitical influence are no longer theoretical. So when OpenAI absorbs the mind behind one of the most influential agent frameworks, people naturally start asking uncomfortable questions. Does openness survive contact with scale? Can a project remain truly independent when its intellectual gravity shifts toward a single dominant lab? Or is this simply how innovation moves from the edges to the center? From one perspective, this looks like validation. Open source experimentation, proving its value and influencing the most powerful AI company in the world. From another, it looks like consolidation. A reminder that even decentralized movements tend to orbit whoever controls compute, distribution, and capital. What makes this moment particularly fascinating is that no one is fully in control of the outcome. OpenClaw continues to evolve outside OpenAI. Other companies are building competing agent frameworks. Entire ecosystems are forming around modular skills, workflows, and integrations. At the same time, OpenAI is clearly positioning agents as a core layer of its future products. These paths are converging, but they haven't merged yet. The AI world didn't explode because of a single hire. It exploded because that hire confirmed what many people already suspected. The age of passive AI is ending. The next phase isn't about talking to machines. It's about delegating to them. And whoever defines how that delegation works, technically, ethically, and economically, will shape the next decade of software. This isn't the end of open source agents. It's not the triumph of one company over another. It's a transition point. A signal that the conversation has moved beyond novelty and into infrastructure. Beyond demos and into deployment. Beyond tools and into systems that act. And that's why this quiet move mattered more than most billion-dollar acquisitions. If you want to see where AI is actually going, not just what it can say, but what it can do, this is the story to watch. If this helped you understand the shift, make sure to like the video so more people see it. Subscribe for deeper breakdowns of what's really happening behind the headlines. And let me know in the comments whether you think autonomous agents should stay open or whether consolidation is inevitable.